Police unions are concerned about the recruitment shortfalls in the South African police services. Between 2020 and 2022, the South African police services lost a significant number of members due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And during the State of the Nation address, President Cyril Ramaphosa promised that 10,000 officers would be recruited and trained. We're now joined to tell us more about these challenges by Mr. Mpho Kwinika, General Secretary of the Independent Policing Union of South Africa. Thank you very much, sir, for availing yourself this afternoon. What seems to be the issue of contention with the recruitment process?
Look, we are post-1994 now. The South African police force is known to have played a very terrible role in society before 1994. And then after 1994, you need to have the police force that will be able to deal with democratic issues in a country. So which means that you will have to have a mindset change to be able to deal with the issues of today. And I want to indicate up front that it is not easy to police a democratic state as opposed to an autocratic state. If you police an autocratic state, the state takes full responsibility for your actions. Whereas in a democratic state, individuals take full responsibilities for their actions. Which means that the recruitment strategy that is going to be utilized post-1994 needed to change. Because now we are looking for police officers who are able to understand what human rights issues are. and the role of a police officer when it comes to issues of community-related issues. So we have to forge relations with the communities that we serve. And what do we serve? What we give them what they tell us what to give them. So that is very difficult. But the system needs to be thorough in getting people into this environment. You've got enlistment of police officers at entry level. You have got movement of personnel within the system we call the lateral appointments. And we also have got those that are appointed in terms of the Regulation 45, the powers given to the National Commission of Police to appoint. So all of these three, they allow the movement of people into the system. Now, when you bring people into the system, there's a criteria that you set. There's a criteria that you set for those that are enlisted from the beginning. There's a criteria for those who move laterally and those that you bring in through Regulation 45. So all of these things, if you politicize them just for once, then you are going to get wrong people into the environment.
How are they politicized?
You see, let me give you an example of lateral appointments. You go and source a person outside with certain skills, but within the very same environment, you've got people with same skills, but you prefer those that are coming from outside. Why don't you give an opportunity those that are inside? If they fail, then you go and source those skills outside. In 2022, early, I think somewhere in March, April, we employed a very senior officer in the police who has never been at entry level, but coming at a level of a lieutenant general to come and fill up the post that other major generals that are in that department could fill. But when that person was already appointed, failed to produce qualifications, because they will allow you to give copies, but you need to bring originals during your interviews. How did it happen that that incumbent takes over that position without producing those qualifications? No one knows. But that person has since left the environment. But we are saying this kind of embarrassment could be avoided if you do it right in the beginning and do the right thing, because the criteria is there. But they did not do it. Why didn't they do it? Because there's a process. It means someone who have got authority had persuaded those that were doing the appointments to allow that person to gain entry into that place. This is the politics that we're talking about. Then you have got the issue of Regulation 45, people that are coming in. Yes, if you bring people through Regulation 45, let them go to forensic, biological sections, where the DNA is taking place, because the police cannot produce those skills. But you cannot employ a person on Regulation 45 to become a captain, commander of a crime prevention, because VISPOL can produce those people. So you see, these are the things that are really very prominent within the South African Police Service today.
We understand that this has caused so much friction and so much tension within the force that yesterday you had a police officer who shot dead his supervisor and turned the gun on himself.
That happened in Mpumalanga, a very sorry state of affairs. Unfortunately, these incidents are taking place almost every day. There are issues which some of the issues the public don't even know about them. But I can tell you that even the issue, I think the management knows that there is so much sick leaves that are taken by police officers today because of the tension that is taking place within the juniors and the senior management in there. And what is so sad about it is the arrogance of some leadership who does things with impunity, wrong things with impunity, and even tell junior officers that they can go to hell, there's nothing that they're going to do. You know, that is unacceptable, because those are the things that drives the problems which we have within the South African Police Service. Even if we were to bring in, you know, because these are the solutions which we want to see, you know, panning out into this environment, bring in the employee health and wellness program, because these are the people that are always around the police. They should be, but they are not there because they're few. So the tension that exists between these two people could easily be picked up by the social workers and psychiatrists that are working in those departments, but they are few.
So these issues, have you brought them to the attention of the relevant authorities, at least at national level? And what are you hearing?
These issues are issues that are being discussed, I think, year in and year out. I think they are also visible on the annual performance plans of the South African Police Service. So these issues are always being discussed. We will talk about them. I think South Africans will remember that when there was this issue of Durban, the floods which took place there, we had a lot of police officers who went there, and there were a lot of issues there. So we brought in the employee health and wellness program. We've been doing that with management as well. But out of these incidents, there are these normal issues that are taking place every day, which we also bring to the attention of management. How do they respond to this? If they were to increase the number of those EHW personnel and give them the independence, remember, these are professionals. You give them a rank to wear. A rank always has got some disadvantages. If you come to me and you're wearing a rank of a warrant officer and I'm a captain, I won't listen to you. This is an authority, it's an environment where authority pans out all day in and day out.
How then does this impact the police's ability to police, which then bleeds on to the everyday person on the ground?
It does have a negative impact because you have got wrong people, you know, in front of the communities who are expecting a certain kind of service to them. And instead of the communities getting what they're supposed to be getting from them, they get something negative. I think you will see there's a lot of clips that are making some turns in our communities, where communities and the police officers are fighting. You'll find them even, you know, that there is no respect amongst our own police officers in the communities. But there's something that I really want to share with South Africans today. It is the issue of Sir Robert Peel. Sir Robert Peel in 1829, he had introduced new principles and ideals to change policing in London. He formed what we call the London Metropolitan Police Force. He brought in these elements. These elements are very important. And tell me, it's 1829, and to date, those issues are still relevant. You must get the best people to do policing work. And how do you get the best people? You need to advertise posts, give criteria, and follow the principles of that criteria that you have, and get the right people to come and service South Africans. We are calling on South African Police Service to do the same and make sure that the people who enter this environment are the people that are suitable to do the job.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time this afternoon. Mr. Mpho Kwinika is the General Secretary of the Independent Policing Union of South Africa.